Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This week we'll be planning the week of July 3rd through July 9th, and I'll be using a kit from Little Miss Paperie. These are the sheets that came with the kit. I was attracted to the kit because I just love the color palette that was used with the lavenders and yellow and aqua colors, and I liked the artwork as well with the lemons and the lavender. One thing I particularly like about this kit is it does come with 2 sets of date covers and lots of stickers, so I will be able to probably use it for 2 different spreads. So I get started by laying down the bottom washi. And then I was trying to decide which of the 2 sets of date covers to use for this particular week. I decided on the one with the more aqua tones, and I'm just laying down the date dots onto those stickers. This week's kind of mellow. We're planning on having some friends over on the holiday for 4th of July on Monday, and then I know we have some movie tickets for a couple of shows later in the week, but other than that, it's a bit of a quiet week. As I'm filming this, one of my dogs, Sophie, has decided that lying down at my feet is a good place to be. She's fallen asleep there. Just hoping she doesn't wiggle around and knock over the tripod or anything. Sophie is a boxer mix that we got after our special needs dog. We got her on the advice of someone who said she might be better able to teach our special needs dog good behavior, because we found it tricky to teach him stuff with his neurological issues, and she is really good at making sure we're aware if he's acting naughty and kind of being the big sister. So this week I'm color blocking again pretty much, and I start the week off with a lavender tone. I lay down a to clean header and a little 3-heart checklist for some of the cleaning jobs I had to do around the house. Since we were going to be having guests over in the evening, our plan was to do a little shopping to have everything ready for our barbecue, and then while we were out we were going to go to lunch at a local Tex-Mex place. So I laid down a 1/4 and 1/2 box to write those things in there. I jumped down to the bottom of the page and thrown down a little for a supply delivery I was expecting sometime during the day. And then I grab a coordinating full box to put down that I was going to use as a base for our barbecue. I start by taking a 1/2 box and layering that on top of the full box vertically, where I'm going to write the details of the event. And then in the top left-hand corner, I pop down a little sticker that says Celebrate with some hand-drawn balloons that I made. And I grabbed a little munchkin from Once More with Love. He's a little guy cooking, and I thought that was fitting for our barbecue. And then just the last thing that I did for the day was to put down a little garbage can and recycling icon, just to remind myself that it was garbage night, because I knew we'd have extra trash after our celebration, and I didn't want to forget that was going to be collected. Moving on to Tuesday, I just popped down a little to-do header and a 2-heart checklist, just to put down some things for tidying up after our guests the day before. I move on to put down a decorated 1/4 box to set aside some time for myself for designing for my upcoming shop. And then I grabbed some littles to put down at the bottom of the page. I put one down for our meal, which unfortunately was going to be leftovers from the barbecue we had the night before. Although that's pretty tasty, so shouldn't complain. And then we had a couple of TV shows that we wanted to catch up on from the weekend. I topped those off with a coordinating little list header. And then I put down another full box, a really pretty one with some illustrated lavender just in the middle to fill up the day a little bit. I add a aqua glitter header and a little quarter box just to put down another chore that I had for myself for the day. And then moving on to Wednesday, the color was going to be yellow, so I start with a yellow to-do header and then a yellow ombre heart checklist. I have headphones on to do this voiceover, but I can also hear that my chair is squeaking loudly in the background, so hopefully y'all can't hear that. And if you do hear any weird squeaks, it's my chair. And here I'm laying down some washi and a quarter box just to set aside some more time for myself to work on my shop. And then I jump back down to the bottom of the page and throw down some littles. Just had one for a TV show casual that I watch. I'm looking for a full box to throw down just to take up the space for the rest of the day because I didn't think we really had anything going on. And then I remembered that my husband and I were planning to go out for dinner together since our normal Wednesday night dinner plans were off. So I put down a little yellow quarter box to write down the name of the restaurant and then added the cute little date night functional sticker above that and then trimmed down the full box so that it had a little white space around it. And then that didn't come out quite so even, so pulled it up a little bit and ended up using a ruler just to get that straight on the page. Luckily for me, the little craft scissors that I used for the job were just sharp enough to cut through the sticker paper and didn't do any damage to the underlying planner paper. But I still end up fidgeting with it a little bit just to get it just right and laid it back down exactly where I wanted it. I move on to Thursday, and this was going to be the darker purple shade, and start by putting down a today header and then a little with an asterisk as a reminder that I needed to pick up some dog food for the puppies. We have to make a special trip to a Tractor Supply place for the puppy food that we got because we find with certain types of dog food it does give our dog a little bit more seizures. So we're careful with that. So I had laid down a darker purple full box to take up some space in the morning since it was a quiet morning, and then put down a half box to set aside some work time for the shop. And then finally in the evening we were planning on seeing The Big Sick at our local theater, and so I put down a movie marquee for that and a little of the plain lavender washi just as a backdrop for that. Next, I grab a little purple quarter box to put down because we're going to go for a quick coffee at Starbucks after the movie. And there's a really cute little coffee cup in coordinating colors that I put down on the top left. And then lastly, I popped down a little TV Little at the end of the day, just to make a note about Orange is the New Black returning to Netflix. But if any of you are fans of Orange is the New Black, you'll know that that date was totally wrong. It wasn't going to come back until Sunday the 9th. But whatever, mistakes happen. Moving on to Friday, I popped down a little to-do header in the lighter lavender shade, and then a 3-heart checklist for a little bit more cleaning I had to do. And I wanted to catch up on laundry, so I put down a little bit of the skinny washi that came with the kit just as a backdrop. And then this lemonade kit from Little Miss Paperie comes with a coordinating laundry day sticker, and so pop that down on top. And through the magic of television, as I would like to call it, or rather my mistake of not realizing the camera had shut off, I've laid down most of the rest of the day for Friday. I had an ombre heart checklist for some groceries that I wanted to pick up, and then a little quarter box just to make a note that Brooks was going to be coming home early from work that day. And then finally at the end of the day, a little appointment label to note down a dinner that we were going to have out, and then finally a note that I wanted to film my next plan with me. And then I had laid down the weekend banner, and I wanted to accentuate it a little bit, and so I have this skinny washi that has some gold foil on it, and I had 2 colors that I thought matched perfectly with the kit, a purple one and an aqua colored one, and so I put those on the top and the bottom just to give it a little bit of sparkle. I then jump over to Sunday and put down a yellow full quote box that says "Life is good," and then hop back over to Saturday and just was laying down something for a movie that we were going to go see at the Alamo. I decided to use some of the patterned washi that came with the kit as a backdrop for the quarter box where I was going to write down the details of the movie. At the bottom of the page, I put down 2 littles. One was a meal little, and the other was for a delivery that I was expecting. And so this one had a heart, but I decided it'd be more fitting to take one of the little envelope icons that came with the kit and pop that over that. And then I'm filling out the rest of the day. I put down a half box with some washi as a backdrop to set aside some time for myself to do some illustrations for the shop. I throw in a trimmed piece of the full boxes to fill up the space, and then move over to Sunday and drop down a yellow glitter header and another ombre heart checklist to make a note of some tasks I had to do in the garden in our front. We're like overhauling the garden, getting rid of some weeds and stuff that had grown in there, and taking out some plants to make room for some new ones. And then I flip over the planner to finish up the sidebar. I start by putting in a quote box. It says "Easy peasy lemon squeezy." And then I'm going to throw in a weekly box for some stats that I collect for another blog that I run, and decide to start from the bottom. And I'm using a yellow appointment label as a header for that weekly box. So I put that on top. Sorry, it's a little bit out of frame here. On top of that, I use an ombre heart checklist, because there wasn't another weekly box in the kit, but it works out perfectly because her ombre heart checklists have 7 spots, so corresponds with the days of the week, which is awesome. And I top that off with a purple appointment label to use as a header. And then lastly, just to fill in the space a little better, I put down some patterned washi and a little bit of deco. There was A little lemon slice and a sprig of lavender that I popped in the middle there. And so opening up the planner, here's the spread with all the stickers laid down. Just gonna fill this out and I'll be right back. And so here's the completed spread, filled out as best as I can for now. I did add a little bit of deco here and there to the spread. Thanks for joining me for this spread using the lemonade kit from Little Miss Paperie. Showing here the stickers that were left over when I was finished with the spread, and there's certainly a lot to work with for a spread on another week sometime in the future. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more Plan With Me videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. Next week I'll be featuring a kit from my shop called Enchanted. It's got some beautiful jewel tones, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.